Okay, so today we're going to talk about a couple of tools for Feature Friday. I actually was just going to talk about the new trimmer, the new 12-inch trimmer, but you see it's sitting on top of the new custom cutting system mat, and so I really want to talk about that too. So first, the trimmer. If you had the old rotary style trimmer, then you might remember that this piece had to get taken off. You had to take it apart. You had to put in the different blades. You were dealing with the sharp blades. Also, the way it sat in, it could rock back and forth. So that's actually one of the features of this rotary trimmer, is that it has dual track. So you're not going to get the rocking back and forth potentially when you're cutting. It's a nice, smooth, steady cut. So the double track is one thing. One of the things that I love the most about it is the black and white markings. They're so easy to see. The old one was just blue plastic it was like light blue, and so there were grooves there, but it was just really hard to tell. They also have some common cutting sizes, like 3x3 is written right here, so you can just slide the paper over to 3 and then cut it, and then slide the strip in and cut it. Here's 4x6 down here, 4.5 by 6.5, which is a great size for matting photos. So you get a 1/4 inch on either side, and then of course 5x7. Now 4x6 and 5x7 are common photo sizes, but this isn't recommended for cutting photos. You're still going to want to go to your handy dandy personal trimmer, which really hasn't changed much for a while. They went to a different type style, but this one is just kind of like the old blue one that we had. Well, the second blue one. The first blue one didn't have a drawer. The second dark blue one also comes in a purple variety. This is a great trimmer. This one is $26.50. But back to the 12-inch trimmer. So it's got great markings on it. You've also got a 45-degree angle, so if you want to cut your paper on an angle, you can do that. So here's what's cool. To change the blade, this opens up. There's a little clasp on the side here. Flips up, blade pops out. Now the actual blade is internal, so you can't cut yourself. It's inside there. I don't know if you can see it. This is just the straight blade. So that just pops in, that closes, and you're good to go. Now the blade doesn't engage until you press down. When you press down, the blade engages. You also have 4 different cutting surfaces. So right now I'm on the number 2. I don't know if you can see that up here. So this little mat comes out and can be replaced. Each line is good for 500 cuts. And you can tell, just like with any trimmer, it's not the blade in a rotary trimmer that needs sharpening as much as the surface it's cutting into. So when that gets all kind of torn up, then you don't get as smooth of a cut. So after I'm done with 2, then this flips over and I have 3 and 4. So the dotted line and the number show exactly, where it's going to cut. You also have these see the little tip there, the little white tip that's a triangle. That also will show you exactly where you're cutting, so that you can line it up. This little guide bar is easy to pick up with one hand. The other one, it felt like you needed to get 2 hands involved. This one is easy to pick up with one hand, and it also, holds your paper nicely. I mean, I can pick up the whole trimmer and not have it open, but just by bracing my fingers down, I can onto the trimmer itself, I could do it with one hand. So that's handy when your hands are busy. It has the fold-out arm, like the old one had, but this one goes out to 16 inches. Oops. And so that's great. You got plenty of room for your large paper. So what most people I found don't realize is that this little arm, if you're flipping it in and out and fast, then you might not need or really care about it. But there is a little foot that flips down. See this little foot? And so that gives it stability if you're going to be cutting a lot of things using this arm to come out. So you can just flip that little stability leg down, and then that folds right back up for when you are folding it. Now, this is something on the old style. Some people actually attached Velcro and did this with their blades on the bottom, but this is brilliant. So this trimmer was designed to hold all of your extra blades right here in the bottom. And the one that is coming in the mail tomorrow from Creative Memories is the new stamp one. So that will also slide right in here. And it looks like maybe we've got, you know, some more coming at us. So we've got scoring, scallop, Victorian, decal, wave, and perforating. So what I want to show you is the scallop and the wave. Now the decal and the Victorian are kind of, they don't have a uniform cut. So I find that very forgiving, so that you can use either side kind of of the paper of the cut interchangeably, and you know, you won't really notice. Now the scallop, I want to show the scallop. So again, to change the blade, we're going to open this up, pull this out, we're going to put the scallop in. Okay. Now I'm going to come out to the 1 inch and cut. All right. So with the scallop blade, one of your edges is going to look like this, sort of bumpy, scallopy, right? The other one, to me, kind of looks like waves. So see how they kind of fit together like a puzzle, right? One edge fits into the other. So you get two different edges depending on how you're feeding the paper and which way the blade is inserted. So you can experiment with that, but it's kind of cool because with the scallop blade, you kind of get two cuts for one. And so I wanted to show you the wave, because you might be thinking, okay, that maybe is the same way. But the wave, when we cut it, I cut it at 1 inch again. Okay. Because it's smaller, it's actually the same cut. So it looks exactly the same. Hopefully you can see that. So you don't get the one that kind of looks like a wave to me, which is ironic because this one is the wave, the one that I just cut, and this is the part of the scallop. But to me, that looks great for ocean waves. The other reason why I wanted to show you these two together is because this is sort of a larger version of this cut. So I should grab a different colored paper so that you can see, but those match up nicely, or complement nicely if you're going to do a border. So let me just grab a piece of white paper and do that real quick. This is a tiny little piece of paper, but I'm lining it up on the black line, and this is what I mean. So I just like those together. I think they look nice because they're similar but different. So that is the scallop and the wave, and of course the perforation and the, I wish I had the new stamping one to show you, because I believe that is more like the scallop. You're going to have two different edges on that one, on each side. So we've got, and then the Decal and the Victorian are also great. They're like the old, you know, 4x4 black and white photos that had that around the edge. They look great. Okay, so the last feature I want to show you is if there's any card makers out there. A lot of times card makers will use 8.5 by 11 cardstock because the standard card size, the A2, that are the A2 envelopes, the standard invitation size is half. So this is 8.5 by 11. So it's 5.5, and this is 8.5. So the 4 1/4. So 5.5 by 4 1/4 folded is the standard card side. So what's brilliant is this trimmer is 5.5 to the edge. So if you slide this out here and cut it, now the 8.5 by 11 is in half, and you have a card base just like that. So for our card making friends, this is a great tool and a great time saver. And if you're going to mat on top of it, which I do a lot for my cards, then it's 4 by 5 1/4. And the 5 1/4 is right out here. Easy to see. You can do it while you're watching television. You hardly have to pay attention. It's great. So love, love, love this trimmer. It's $49. It's worth every penny. If you haven't bought yourself, you know, the new one and you still have the old light blue one, or if you have the teal one from Our Memories for Life that had a switch on the top and it just went between the straight and then 2 other blades, treat yourself. Invest. It'll save you so much time, and it cuts so nice. You'll get so much use out of this. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, and so this is kind of my go-to mat that I work on all the time now. I love that it's got measurements going 1 to 12 this way. It's got measurements going 1 to 12 this way, so you can use the bottom corner, you can use the top corner. It's got different angles that are labeled right on here. You can, you know, center things really nice because it's got the dark line at the 6 and here. I just love it. So if you have this one, the new one is a little bit bigger. And this one, I mean, it's great. It's got 1/4 inch increments, but the measurements aren't on it. So you're over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, you're counting. And with this, you can just throw a piece of paper on there and you know right away what size it is. This is 5 and, oops, helps if you can see that. We got 5.5 by 4 1/4 right here. It's perfect. So it's really great as a measuring tool. In addition, just, you know, the reason why we have this in our life is because of the custom cutting system, right? Our circles and ovals. And it's the self-healing mat. So we can cut with the blade, and you can see I've got years of cuts in here, and it still looks great. This is probably, you know, 10 years old. And this one I just got, and it pretty much never leaves my workspace. I work on it all the time, so I'm ready to cut when I need to, and I can work on it, measure on it, and do everything I need to do on it. So I love it, love it, love it. I think that's it. Oh, so this is $15. Again, if you have this one, or if you have the older one, which is 10 by 12, right? So it only goes to here. That was the original one that I had back in 2000. It is definitely time for an upgrade. Worth every penny of $15. You will use it. It'll just be the first thing you lay down on your workspace, and you will just work right on it. So thank you so much for joining me again on this Feature Friday. And oh, I forgot to tell you that the blades are $9 each, all that little extra blades. But if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment. If you'd like me to add one to my next order for you, either this, any of the blades that you saw, or the new trimmer. The new trimmer is $49. Again, the trimmer is $49. The mat is $15. The extra, it comes with the straight blade. This does for $49, and all the extra blades are $9. And then if you're in the market for a new regular personal trimmer for your photos, that's $26.50. So time to revamp some of those awesome tools that we use all the time. Alrighty, thanks so much for joining me. Bye.